now the latest around the wide world of tropics. Tropical Weather Bulletin for September 19th. Well, here we are with another day in the wide world of tropics, and there is only one system active and it's dead. The remnants of Odette, which turned extratropical a while ago after being a tropical cyclone by our analysis for only 6 hours. One of the shortest lived tropical cyclones that we've had, of course, and one of the shortest possible ones you can have. It's day 111 of Atlantic hurricane season. The remnants of Odette, of course, that is going to be hanging around for some time. There's also 95L and 97L, which could be tropical cyclones by now, and the information here may very well be outdated in the next 30 to 45 minutes. In the Eastern Pacific, we're looking at nothing going on. Of course, there is some rumblings, but of course it's just way too far out and way too broad in order to get some kind of area of interest to be placed in here, so nothing going on for right now. In the Western Pacific, the area of interest that we have has been dropped. With that, there is nothing at this time active, and it looks like that is going to be staying the case for the next 5 days or so. Probably a relief considering the fact that we are very much tired of Shantou, which is now finally gone. In the North Indian Ocean, we are done with the land depression. Of course, we've been that way for a few days now, but there is a Southwestern Indian Ocean AOI. That's looking unlikely to develop, a 20% chance at this time. We'll see what happens with that one. In the Atlantic, here's the satellite imagery. You can see what was once Odette pretty much heading off towards the east-northeast at this point. All the convection pretty much displaced to east of the center there. And then there's also 95 and 97L, which are more than likely tropical depressions at this point. We could be seeing 15 and 16L in the next 12 hours. In the Eastern Pacific, you can see what's going on here. Not really much to discuss other than that little disturbance that's going on to the southeast of Hawaii, but I don't think that there's going to be anything that tries to develop out of that one. In the Western Pacific, here's what's going on at the moment. Not really much to talk about. The rest of Shantou is probably gone now at this point. Nothing really to trace at this moment. What was 97W is gone. 98W, same story. Every pretty area of interest pretty much just gone at this point. So thankfully we're looking at a much quieter scene for the time being. In the North Indian Ocean, there's not much going on after we saw that depression. Its remnants are still traceable. That convective blob that you see going on in northwestern India is what was once that depression there, so you can still see the influence of it for sure. And of course, zooming in into 95 and 97L, of course the information may be coming outdated right after I get this uploaded here, so you may be watching this and it may already be a depression, who knows, at least one of these two. So we'll see what's going on, but they're definitely looking like tropical cyclones, or at least almost there. Here are the sea surface temperatures in the Eastern Pacific. You can see what's going on here. Some 28 to 29 degrees Celsius temperatures continue to affect the entire basin there. In the Gulf of Mexico, we're looking at the temperatures being around 28 to 29. Same story for the Caribbean, same story for the main development region, and of course same story for the Western Atlantic. You can still see what was once Larry and the trail left behind with those 27 degrees sea surface temperatures. But other than that, nothing really too different from what we've been seeing. In the Bay of Bengal, you can see the temperatures around 28 to 29 degrees, and as you head into the Arabian Sea, the temperatures are around 28 degrees near the northern end of the basin, and then those temperatures drop off as you head south-southwestwards, where it goes down to 25. In the Western Pacific, those temperatures remain around 29 to 30 degrees Celsius, although the latter has been expanding, especially east of the Philippines, so that might be something to watch as we head into the later portion of the season. Of course, October and November is where things really begin to take a destructive turn for the Western Pacific. Hopefully that doesn't become the case, but of course we're always watching that possibility. We'll see what happens there. Here are the sea surface temperature anomalies. The Eastern Pacific still looking rather spotty with the temperatures there. The Atlantic looking above average with the exception of the northeastern Gulf of Mexico and where Larry was. And then of course the Western Pacific is still looking above average as well. The North Indian Ocean is average to slightly below average actually. So with that, here are the on this day stuff for today. We're looking at Typhoon Clara of 1981. That passed the Philippines as a Category 4 typhoon before continuing on towards its westward path. There was also Tropical Storm Harvey, which was almost extratropical, and there was also Tropical Storm Hova, which existent on the Eastern Pacific, crossing into the Central Pacific. Of course, you can find our On This Day products by Cyclone History. Their Twitter is on the bottom bar below. But interesting what was going on. Thankfully, we're not having Category 4 landfalls today. Well, here we are. The next name in the Atlantic is Peter, followed by Rose. We could be seeing those in due course. In the Eastern Pacific, we're looking out for Pamela and Rick. And in the Central Pacific, it's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Come inside, it's fun inside. Unless you are a Hone fan, you are not having fun right now. In the Western Pacific, we're looking out for Dianmu, followed by Mindul. And in the North Indian Ocean, we're still looking out for Gulab and Shaheen. It probably will be another month before we see that name. Moving on over to the Southern Hemisphere, which we will be starting off with the Southwestern Indian Ocean. Next name is Anna followed by Batsirai. In the Australian region, we're looking out for Patty and Ruby. And in the South Pacific, we're looking out for Cody. We'll be back for another Tropical Weather Bulletin tomorrow night.